When things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you're trudging seems all uphill, when you want to smile but you have to sigh, rest if you must, but don't you quit. A very good evening to one and all. I welcome you all on behalf of Research Culture Society and Scientific Research Association for this short-term training program on developing personal improvement through soft skills. Here is a hearty welcome to all of you for this alluring session. Here we have our organizing committee, Dr. C.M. Patel as Director of Research Culture Society. We have Ms. Jaya Chetwani ma'am. She's the counselor and special educator. We have Dr. Jessica, who is the founder of Scientific Research Association. Short-term training program is all about personal attribute, personality traits, inherent social cues, and communication abilities needed for success. It includes adaptability, attitude, communication, creative thinking, and many more. It accomplishes all of these components and shapes skills into competencies. In this program, we will learn about confidence and enthusiasm regarding self-motivation, raised aspiration, and belief in one's own ability. We will learn to develop effective interpersonal communication, leadership, emotional and social skills. We'll learn to develop all-round personality with a mature outlook and the function effectively in different circumstances. Here we have our today's resource person, Dr. Jaya Chetwani ma'am. Jaya Chetwani ma'am is a counselor and special educator from Pune, India. She has done her MS in counseling and psychotherapy. She has postgraduate diploma in counseling psychology and is registered with Rehabilitation Council of India as a special educator. During pandemic, Jaya ma'am has been associated with diversified activities. She contributed in the Children's Well and Learning Survey conducted by the Delhi Commission for Protection of Child's Right, Government of NCT of Delhi. She is providing psychological support as a part of helpline that DCPCR institute during the lockdown period, providing emotional and psychosocial support to the citizens of Delhi diagnosed with COVID-19 and spreading awareness about the plasma donation. She has been invited as resource person and guest of honor in many state, national and international seminars, workshops, and conferences. Ma'am is an exemplary dedication for being COVID warrior by 13 state of government and 19 municipalities. She has been honored by Hershine Award in 2020-21. Ma'am, we are pleasure to have you here. Thank you.
Thank you, Itavi, for that in-depth introduction. On behalf of Research Culture Society, I would like to welcome all of you. I hope my voice is audible to you all. If yes, please give us a thumbs up. And I'm extremely sorry for the delay due to the technical glitches. The workshop was delayed by 15 to 20 minutes. I apologize for that. I would like to share my screen. Just give me a minute. Is my voice audible to all of you? Can we have the responses in the chat box?
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you. We'll do that.
Yes, it's fine visible.
I request all the participants to stay muted, please. Yeah, thank you. Hope my slide is visible to all of you. So welcome once and all again for this webinar on social and emotional skills. So before we begin the webinar, I would want to request all of you that this is going to be an interactive session. I request your responses on the chat box. And if at all you feel the need to share anything with us, please raise your hand so that we can have an interactive session. So here on my screen, I hope you can see a few icons. So can you just please type in the chat box how many of these apps or applications you're using in your day-to-day life? If you can just put the number in the chat box. Just take a minute to look into this. I'm opening the chat screen for everyone to view. Yes. Can you see my screen? How many of these icons, how many of these applications are we using for our day-to-day life? Eight, Dr. Raja. Okay. Okay. I am not sure how to pronounce this name as Porcodi. Two applications. Fine. Thank you for that responses. Okay. Ranpasi. Four. Anyone else? Two, four. Okay. 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 So is there anyone who's not using any of these? Three. Okay. Great. Five. Three. Okay. That's nice. That's nice. Thank you so much for participating in the activity. So now if one of you can please raise your hand and help me understand why are we using these apps? What are these apps for? Any one of you, कोई भी एक app आप जो use करते हैं. Let's make it an interactive session. Let's make it an in-depth discussion method for us to understand it better. Which is the app that you are using? If you are comfortable with audio, please raise your hand. If not, let us know in the chat box which one app do you use frequently and why. For what purpose are you using that? Okay, 7 to 8 file. That's a nice response. 54. Okay. For information and getting connected, great. Anyone else? Anyone else? Any other responses? Okay, let me just check. For maintaining relationships, for searching information and updating. That's a beautiful answer, Dipti. Do you want to share a line? Do you want me to unmute? Would you want to speak on this for a minute? Communication, that's great, Kirti. That's great. Fair enough. I'm very satisfied with the answers that we have got. So, as it is rightly said, we are social animals. We need the social connect. We need emotion. How are we different from animals? Is because we have those emotional regulations in us. We know how to regulate our emotions. We have this need to be amongst people. We are social animals, and which is why we use these apps to get connected. Today, it is known as internet has been giving us the dimension that the world has become a global village. We all have information at the fingertips, and that is why we feel the need to connect. आप देख लो, बहुत सारे लोग अपने jobs छोड़ देते हैं because वहां पे मन नहीं लग रहा. They are getting good salary, they are getting good raise in their current hike and whatever salary they were drawing, a good working atmosphere, but they need that connection. So I've seen so many people going back to their previous jobs or staying in the old job with less salary. Why? Because they find a good comfort and connect over there. So today's topic is very important, how to develop this social and emotional skills. And as I have already said that we are social animals, we are the people who are seeking social connections. We are wanting, आज हम कुछ भी achieve करते हैं, we put it on social media. We put it here, why? Because we want people to validate us, we want people to know, recognize our talents, our potentials. So it is the need of the hour to up your emotions, to utilize and channelize your emotions, to regulate them and utilize them in the right way. Today, most of the people who have not been able to use them are either not known to be successful because they are not team players. They find issues with cooperation. So, going to the next slide. I hope my voice is audible to all of you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, all right. Thank you. Okay. So when we talk about personality development includes all your parts, right from your spiritual, emotional, mental, social, and physical. I have seen people taking care of their physical needs so beautifully. I have seen people having good nutrition. They are into diet and exercises. They go to gym always. But when it comes to social, I have seen they don't take efforts to get connected to people. Today there are so many networking sites which have professional development also, like LinkedIn and all, where you can professionally get connected. But social aloofness is found, and also after pandemic it has been noticed that most of the people are okay in their own shell life, so they ignore their mental, social and emotional needs. Physical need is taken care of. So when we talk about personality development, it has to be a combination of all these activities, all these domains together to have an wholesome personality. Even spiritual, as I don't know if you have read about Maslow's hierarchy of need, which states that first comes your foremost basic needs, that is फूड सेफ्टी एंड शेल्टर. वो आने के बाद ही आप थोड़ा सा आगे बढ़ पाते हो, आप सोशलाइजेशन की तरफ जा पाते हो. तो this comes in the same order as it is written from right to left. So first is the physical need, then is the social, then mental. So today we are going to discuss two important skills and needs, that is social and emotional skills for the overall development of a personality. Also, while we have discussed the physical need, I will also like to bring it to your notice. Most of the students I see are going to tuitions, are reading so many encyclopedias, looking, taking care of their cognitive development. So physical development somehow is taken care of because we are very aware about our body, how we take care, how are we looking on the screen, how people view us. So physical development is definitely taken care of. कॉग्निटिव डेवलपमेंट कहीं ना कहीं हमारे स्कूल में हो ही जाता है. Schools, colleges में academically the education structure is like that, that the cognitive development is also taken care of. Where we lack today is the socio-economic emotional development. And when we talk about social emotional development, it is also one of the 21st century skill that we should be looking forward at. Today, the need of the art demands us to be more regulated about our emotions, more aware about our social skills, which is only going to help us to move forward in our life. So they say IQ plus EQ equals to success. Any one of you, IQ I know is intelligent quotient. What is EQ? If one of you can tell me in the chat box, what is EQ? Emotional intelligence. Okay, Kyle, thank you for that response. Anyone else? Emotional quotient is the right answer. Yes. IQ is intelligent quotient and EQ is emotional quotient. When you add both together, only then you get success. So when we say IQ plus EQ equals to success, what does IQ, what do we understand by IQ here? Okay. When we talk about IQ, it involves the use of your analytical thoughts that comes with logic, memory, language, concentration, comprehension. All of these domains are taken care in your IQ. But when you talk about EQ, it is more about empathy. It is more about creativity, awareness, motivation. It is also about how, how creative you are. It has been, there is a research that states that The people who have high emotional quotient are more creative, are more into art and music. That is what the research states. So, and also in my personal opinion, I have found that to be true. So when we say EQ, it is more of a logical reasoning skills. और ये कहीं ना कहीं आपके competitive exams, our examination system that has been there in the society, it has all of this. But when we talk about EQ is something which we have to develop, we have to cultivate, we have to work towards it. It might not be inbuilt. It is something that you will have to work for it, and it is also impacted and affected by the environment that you're surrounded with. So when we talk about EQ versus IQ, I would like to talk about IQ first. IQ helps you to analyze. IQ helps you to know how. IQ gives you technological expertise. IQ also gives you concept, critical designing, critical thinking, logical reasoning, everything. But when we talk about EQ is more about empathy, motivation, self reflection. It helps you to manage your relationships. It also helps you being socially aware and also gives you a control over self. You know, knowing the situations where I am able to take control of my own body and mind is the beautiful place to be in. Most of the times, I have found people who have beautiful talent, who have beautiful intrapersonal, interpersonal skills, both, but they fail somehow because they are not able to regulate their emotions in the right manner. So EQ gives you all of that. So more your EQ, more you will be able to manage, regulate, and have better relationships. One of the reason for conflict amongst the team, be it in your college or be it in your organization, is difference of opinion. Once you know how to regulate, once you know how to be a team player, once you know how to accept someone else's different point of view, your EQ level goes high, and then you are able to have a better relationship. So the intelligent quotient is stable forever. For example, if I have my uh, age or mental like this, the supposingly I am average in my intellectual skills, that is going to remain stable forever. It might change by a very negligible margin, but your EQ is flexible. It can be cultivated, it can be developed, it can be enhanced. So we can really improvise that if we give ourselves that much time, if we give ourselves that much of awareness for our body, for our emotions. And also the personality that is there. So inherent, if I am a shy personality, I would be a shy personality. If I am an introvert, I would be an introvert. If I am an extrovert, I would be an. The personality remains stable. Your IQ remains stable, but EQ is flexible. It can enhance as per the work that you do on yourself. So it is recommended that we work for our emotional intelligence. So when we talk about emotional quotient, so it is not a war which is against the mind. It is a place where your heart and your mind are in sync and they are both on the same page. They are collectively working for the same thing. कई बार I hear people saying, this is what my heart says, this is what my brain says. In this conflict, they are not able to decide what is the correct approach. So emotional quotient is not the antonym that is opposite of intelligent quotient. There is no war, as I said. In this ideal situation, both are doing exactly and both are looking into the same thing in the same direction with the same perspective. So when you have both of this together, you will definitely reach success. So this is the picture. If again a short activity, let me know what do you think, which is the IQ, the upper one or the below one of the iceberg. Which part is IQ and which part is EQ? If you can help me with that. Okay, Payal, I hope now it is clear. Yes. Okay, thank you. Upper one is what, Kirti? Can you please help me understand? Upper one is IQ, okay. Bottom one is EQ. Okay, fine. Any reason for that? Any reason upper part is IQ? Okay. Any reason why upper part is IQ? Why do you think that is IQ? Emotional is inner part, inner hidden part. Okay. Okay. Fair enough. We are on the right pace at right space. Okay. As you all rightly identified, the upper one is IQ and the below one is EQ. IQ determines 20 to 25% of business success. EQ determines 75 to 80% of business success. EQ gets you hired. What's that? EQ gets you hired, but emotional intelligence gets you promoted. It is because it gives you an edge. It makes you a team player. It makes you more aware about your triggers. It helps you identify your emotions. It helps you to make better use of your emotions. For example, I know that when I get triggered, I get very angry. When I get angry, I understand that this is the phase which lasts for half an hour, and I have some relaxing techniques for us. So once I'm aware about my emotions, I will be able to take a decision to curb them, or to, like, release them is the better word. So it is very important, and which is why they say that emotional intelligence helps you to sustain and get promoted in wherever you are working. And also, if there are students who have joined us, it also gives you an advantage to be aware of others emotion also. So emotional intelligence is a set of emotional and social skills that influence the way we perceive, express ourselves, develop and maintain social relationships, cope with challenges, and use emotional information in an effective and meaningful way. The panel is still visible. Just 1 second. I hope now it will not disturb. Is that fine? Okay. So when we talk about emotional skills, we have to be aware about our own self. We should be having the self awareness, the ability to recognize and understand our moods, our emotions, our drives, as well as the effect on others. And we should also not only have the awareness of self, we should also be able to manage self. So self management is the ability to control or redirect disruptive, impulsive, and moods, the propensity to suspend judgment, to think before acting. And we should also have social awareness, the ability to understand the emotional makeup of other people, skills in treating people according to their emotional reactions. We should be able to regulate the social skills in managing relationships, building networks, and ability to find common ground and build rapport. So, when we talk about self awareness, we are supposed to know about our own emotions. When we talk about self management, we should be able to manage our own emotions and motivate ourselves. And when we talk about social awareness, we should recognize and understand others' emotions, and we should be able to manage relationships and others' emotions. You should know how to learn to live with them. At times, we find that there are some team members who are uncooperative. There are some members who are extremely harsh or rude with us. In that given scenario, not giving up and trying our best to be the team player and taking things forward helps us to build better bonds and helps us to succeed also. So social skills include communication skills, conflict resolution, basic interaction, team building skills. All of this will also help you to succeed in your life. When we talk about social skills, communication skills is the first skill that we are talking about. And I think yesterday's session, or Meeta ma'am, I think has covered this communication skills, the 7 C's of communication skills. When you have proper communication, when you have clear communication, when you are able to put your thoughts forward in a right way, at right channel, at right time, The conflict resolution can be taken care of, the conflicts can be avoided or can be solved amicably, and it also helps you to have basic interaction, and it helps you to build teams. So social skills, I'll give you few of the examples of social skills. Social skills are accepting the differences, asking for help. We are not super ladies, we are not superheroes. At times I have heard people say that, कि मैंने आज तक किसी की मदद नहीं ली. It's not wrong to take help. You can take help. Ask for help if you need it. Communicating clearly and properly. This is lacking in every one of us. Most of the times we don't communicate properly. We either try to hide it because of the social issues, or we are not very clear about, how can I say that I need help. We are against that stereotype or the stigma that comes attached to it कि तुम ये नहीं कर सकते. So it's all right. We can always ask for help, and we should be communicating clearly, complimenting others. If we have difference of opinion, that does not necessarily have to be an argument. You can disagree politely. We can encourage others, follow directions, listen actively, participate equally. We can help in resolving conflicts, sharing materials. The list is endless. So these are some of the social skills that we were talking about. So here I'm going to paste this link for all of you. Just give me a minute. I request all of you to share your responses in the chat screen. Just 1 minute. I've shared a link with all of you. If possible, please click on that link for us to see your responses. Please take a minute. Okay. So I'd like to read out the questions. Meanwhile, I expect other participants also to please give their responses. So I am aware of my feelings as they change. I think before I act. I bounce back quickly from life's setbacks. I identify subtle social clues that indicate others' needs. I am very good at handling myself in social situations and can find common ground and build rapport with people. I can put myself in other people's shoe. That is empathy. In bad mood, I make a strong effort to get out. I can build rapport with people from all walks of life. So thank you everyone for participating in the activity. I would like to share your social skills indicators with you according to the responses that you have given. Let us have a self assessment. I hope you are aware about what is the scale that you have chosen, right from strongly agree, agree, disagree, strongly disagree, and neutral. Just give me 1 minute for me to reshare my screen. Okay. So we are coming to item 1 and item 7. This is about self-awareness, how aware you are about your emotions. So the item 1 was, I am aware of my feelings as they change. So if it is strongly agree, you have to give yourself 5. I hope you can see what are your responses that you have given yourself. And item 7 is, I can build rapport with people from all walks of my life. So if your score is 4, this might indicate you are low in your self-awareness. If your score is between 5 and 7, this might indicate you are moderate in self-awareness. And if your score is 8 or higher, this might indicate you are high in your self-awareness. Self-management items is item 2 and item 3. That is, I think before I act and I bounce back quickly from life's setback. So here, if your score is 4, that means you're low in your self-management. If your score is between 5 and 7, this might indicate you are moderate in self-management. If your score is 8 or higher, this might indicate you are high in self-management. Now we are coming to social awareness. which is item 4 and item 6. I identify subtle social clues that indicate others' need, and I can put myself in other people's shoes. If your score is 4, you're low in empathy. If your score is between 5 and 7, that might indicate you're moderate in empathy. If your score is 8 or higher, this might indicate you're high in empathy. So now coming to the last point, that is social skills. Items are item 5 and item 8. I'm very good at handling myself in social situations and can find common ground and build rapport with people. That is item number 5. And item number 8 is in bad mood, I make a strong effort to get out. So if these are the items, and if your score is 4, this might indicate you are low in your social skills. If it is between 5 and 7, this might indicate you are moderate in social skills. And if it is 8 or higher, this might indicate you are high in social skills. So after interpreting the results, so if you ask me, ma'am, if my social skills are less, what can I do? So the first step is to increase social emotional skill is by building confidence. Confidence comes when I know, for example, if I am very sure about the matter, if I'm very sure about the subject, if I'm very sure about the situation, if I'm well aware about it, I will be more confident. So the first step is build your confidence in case you're low in any of it, even if you're moderate. Because today the time is not such that we can work on low and moderate. We have to up our skills. So in case you find that you are running low, first step is build confidence. Try to trust yourself and your actions without any acclaim. Secondly, be open to learning. See, I am very bad with math and I have no problem in stating that there are other areas where I'm very good with having an awareness. Okay, this is not my domain. So I am very clear about that and I need help in this domain. So I'm very open to all of that. So same goes for you all. Second, be open to learning and have an open mind. Be curious as you are a child and have the mind to explore new options. Thirdly, learn self control. This includes anger management and consideration of others' needs. I see people not able to manage their anger well. They get aggressive and at times also they get into self harming techniques and strategies. That is one of the way they feel they get attention. But that kind of attention is not going to last longer. So we must learn how to manage the anger as well. So if there are few tips that can be given to increase the social emotional skills that would be responsible for your deeds, take accountability. If it is good, take that accountability, take that praise with head held high. Similarly with criticism also, be responsible for anything that you have done. Have courage, take it up, accept when you commit something wrong, learn to apologize, accept your weaknesses. These things take time. It cannot be like a magic wand that can be like given and things change automatically. This takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of energy, it takes a lot of management skills, lot of awareness about our own emotions, and also a lot of support. But once you are able to do that, once you are able to give yourself that empathy, that love, that care, I have seen people doing that to others. They are very supportive to others. If someone else is going through a difficult time, they will go to lengths and breadths to help that person. But when it is them, when they need that help, when they need that support, they are very critical about their own self. We don't give ourselves the love that we deserve, which is also why one of the reasons we are not very aware about our needs and our desires, and we seek that validation from others. So once we are able to do that, this leads to better self-awareness, better quality life, and we are able to not only maintain but build new and healthy relationships. So with that, now we come to one of the important part, that is integrity. Before we get into integrity, I would want to understand how different is integrity from honesty. If one of you can respond in the chat box, or I would rather like any one of you to unmute if you want to. How is integrity different from? Oh, am I not audible?
No, no, it's audible.
Okay, we got a message in the chat box that I'm not audible. So when we talk about honesty, honesty is when we are honest with others. Integrity is when you are honest with your own self. You are very clear with your views, with your thoughts, with your actions. That is known as integrity. Integrity is doing the right thing even when no one is watching. So there is no like there are it is like inculcating a right conduct in your actions throughout your journey of life, not only in your personal life but also in your professional life, in your social life. So you do what is right even when no one is watching. Integrity is congruence between, most of the time we see that people know something, they say something and they do something else. So when there is a differences, all of this integrity is lost. So when we have to, we are all, our thoughts, our action, our words, all are inclined in the same direction. You have a right balance. So integrity is sticking to your personal code of conduct, being open and honest, having nothing to hide, sticking to what you decide. Integrity is knowing right things to do and doing the right things. Integrity is not an absolute notion that you either have or totally lack, such as a black or white approach would yet again render the notion meaningless, since no institution is without being blemished. So, as I said, there is no right or wrong thing. It is what your heart says, it is how you take the conduct forward. It is an ability to create problem solving alternatives with respect to. So, integrity traits. Having integrity means you express gratitude, value honesty, are responsible and accountable for your actions, good or bad, whatever it is. Respect yourself and others around you, are reliable and trustworthy, help those in need without sacrificing your own health, are patient and flexible. So, when we are asked to show integrity, what are we asking you to show? It means you're honoring the code and adhering to it. You are respecting the policies. You are prepared thoroughly. You also, when you observe that someone is not there, you also report that to an extent, that is also included in integrity. So now talking about flexibility. When we talk about flexibility, flexibility is I don't know if you have heard this quote which states that you need the survival of the fittest, which states that in the end it is not the one who is the knowledgeable or the strongest who will survive. It is the one who is able to adapt to the changes of the situation, that is given by Darwin. So adaptability to change, adaptability to mold ourselves according to the situation, adaptability or having that openness uh, to be able to take new ideas forward, or being open to a new perspective, is also known as flexibility. You are not very stern, you're not very fixed, you're not very rigid to one approach of life, wherein you are able to mold yourself, is known as flexibility. So flexibility is the capacity to adjust to the quality and quantity of changes in the work environment, the ability to adapt and work effectively within a variety of situations, and to group with various individuals or groups. अंडरस्टैंडिंग एंड अप्रिशिएटिंग डिफरेंट एंड ओपोजिंग पर्सपेक्टिव. कई बार ना हम उनके साथ जुड़ जाते हैं, हाँ ठीक है तुम मेरी तरह सोचते हो, फाइन, वी आर अ टीम, but we are not able to take someone else point of view, we are not able to respect someone else perspective, we are not able to look into the situation holistically. So when we are in that position where we can take others perspective without disrespecting our own, that should be the approach towards life, that should be the approach towards your life. So that is flexibility. Adapting one approach as situation changes, and changing or easily accepting changes in one's own department or job requirements. With here I would like to give you an example how easily and how flexibly, we adapted to this online conferencing, to this online teaching learning methods. The need came, and ठीक है, starting 1 or 2 months everyone was struggling, but then now this is the approach that we have adapted ourselves beautifully. Similarly, having, and the people who were very rigid not to learn the online thing were not able to take this forward and somehow lagged behind. The teachers who were able to take online classes continued with the classes. The people who were able to take the online conferences, lectures, everything, they continued to do the. So we were flexible, and this is the need of the hour, that you have to be flexible not only in the method of your work but also in the perspective that people share. Every time what we think and what we say should not be correct or will not be the end. So in case there is a change, in case there is someone, in case there is something which I am not prepared about, and if there is a change, how do I take this forward? So next slide talks about this. The best way to change is to handle it with ease. Ease is the acronym for E stands for expected, A stands for adapt to it, S is survive, and X is examine its impact. So when we say expected, with pandemic, everyone expected that things will change. Okay. And then we were ready for the change. And whatever we anticipated, we did that. So instead of waiting for the change to happen, then reacting to it, anticipate it, and then rather than resisting the change, get into the new situation with open mind. Many of you are students over here. With this now, when we're talking about this, the new NEP talks about coding to be brought into education system. So when we talk about coding, that is anticipated that is going to happen in the teaching learning process. So when we anticipate it, we start working towards it, looking towards it into open mind, then it will be easy to accept it. You don't have to fight for it. So that is one example which I could think of right now. Adapt to it. Create a vision of your future or your resume and let changes fall into place around your plan. So whatever you have decided, you have to adapt to it by creating a vision. Survive it. Acknowledge the forces of the changes that you're facing. Certain times we don't accept, we fight the changes. We are reluctant, we are more comfortable in our comfort zone that we are not able to and we don't want to take that jump. So we have to take that, we have to learn to survive it by upping our skills, by being very sure about the content that we are learning, the content that we are going to share, by enhancing our skills, by taking the knowledge to different level, being confident, and which will give us the confidence to survive it. Without working and we just standing there and expecting to, okay, we'll survive it, it is not possible. So you anticipated the change, you work for it, and which will give you the confidence to survive it, take it up, and then examine its impact you may experience. So always it is not necessary that whatever we have foreseen is going to be like fruitful, or it is going to give us acceptance. So there might be an emotion that there is a threat, there is stress, there is fear, there is anxiety, there is denial. People might resist, people might not accept. Whatever it is, once you are better regulated with your emotions, you will be able to take that in the right spirit, and will also not only take it in the right spirit but help you to motivate you and take it forward. At times the setbacks help as in stepping stones to success. So how you take that, it is not necessary that every time we will get positive results, but not getting demotivated and working continuously and constantly towards our goal will help us to ease the change. Coming to the last part of our today's presentation, that is courtesy. So when we talk about courtesy, courtesy is showing politeness and consideration to others. It is also trying to not only help others, but help our own self also. So it is the right balance of showing kindness and politeness to all the beings around, including ourselves. Courtesy is also one of the seven C's of communication. The right code, the right conduct, the right way of communication includes courtesy. So what is courtesy? Courtesy is showing of politeness and consideration towards others. It is most visible way to convey respect and caring. Most of the times we find that people also don't connect with other people because they are extremely rude or harsh, or they don't know how to put their point forward, and they are inconsiderate to other people's needs, and they are inconsiderate to other people's perspectives. So once you are more aware about it, once you're more polite, once you're more considerate, you will see people also try to connect with you better. They want to have you, they want to talk to you, they would want to discuss their ideas with you. So this is one of the greatest way to build your relationships, by being courteous. And it is also a great way of having code of conduct which enhances your personality by multiple. Courtesy costs nothing but pays a lot. So courtesy is like little drops of water that make mighty ocean of social life. These small connects that you have build your life. Use courtesy in your dealing with people. Be kind to them. Don't be harsh. How we treat others is the reflection of our personality. Even those people who are hard to deal with can be softened through common courtesy. Please and thank you are little phrases. I always call them as magic words, but these are beautiful words. In childhood, we do teach this to our children and also to the younger persons around. But when we grow up, we forget this. I rarely see any adults using these words. Being civilized means being courteous. Courtesy is free, it costs nothing, but it helps you, it enhances the relationship. Not only builds, not only maintains, but enhances, and it takes you to leaps and bounds. So how do you show this courtesy? If I have it courtesy, the thing about your social skills, your emotional skills is you cannot flaunt it. If I have it, it cannot be seen like in your IQ. It is very visible in your scores and everywhere. But courtesy or these other skills, you have to have it in your personality. This shows in the way you deal with people, in the way you groom yourself. So it is very important that these things are enhanced. So how do you show courtesy? You show them through respect for others. You apologize when you do something wrong. When someone is having a conversation, these are basic communication skills, which I'm sure ma'am would have talked about yesterday. You do not interrupt and also be open to others' perspective, be it good, be it bad. Courtesy costs nothing but buys everything. With that, we come to an end of today's webinar. For any questions, you can please mail it to me.